the next question I get asked the most, and let's discuss, is what brand of pastel would you recommend? If you're a stone cold newbie, in other words, you've never done pastel ever before, I would highly recommend a half stick set of Rembrandt. So Rembrandt is a high quality pastel set. In all the professional pastel artists, you'll always see tons and tons of this brand. And the half stick set is obviously 1/2 the size of a regular stick. And a regular stick takes forever to go through. So you're good with a half stick set because you'll be using that forever and ever and ever. I still have some half sticks in other brands that I haven't even finished using, and I've done hundreds and hundreds of these, okay? So a half stick set will cost you about 50 cents each. So don't get one this big if you're starting out. Get one much smaller, and then pick your browns, which are going to be mainly your pet colors, and then some of your yellows, and then some eye colors. All that we'll do with pencils. You're mainly concerned with yellows and the browns, right? So Rembrandt is going to be your best bet if you're just starting out. Now, once you get comfortable and once you get to where you're enjoying yourself with pastels and whatnot, I would upgrade to a color named Unison. And this is Unison brand right here. And Unison has a nice set that they produce with a popular artist named Emma Colbert. And Emma Colbert is a professional pastel artist. And if you get this off Jackson's Art in the UK, it runs you about $100. So the Rembrandt is going to be 50 cents each for a half stick. You can get an Emma Colbert set. That's going to be a full stick, which is going to be a little larger. And the Emma Colbert set you can get in 18 or 36. I got the 36. And they're going to run you, a couple of bucks more per pastel. But this is going to last you forever. And the best part about this is it's pet focused. You're not going to get a lot of blues. You're not going to get a lot of useless colors that you'll never use. Instead, what you'll get is focused solely on pets. So you get a lot of browns. You get a couple of blues and grays and whatnot, but you get mainly browns, blacks, purples, things that you'll actually use. So I would highly recommend Emma Colbert set of pastels if you want to upgrade your stuff. And again, you can get 18, you can get 36, whatever. Just get those. The next thing I want to talk about is pan pastels. So pan pastel, instead of being a dust that's just loose, it's a moistened dust. In other words, it has a moistener inside of it. So if you get these and turn them upside down, they won't all fall off, right? So pan pastels is great. And it's fantastic when you just want to use on your pastel mat. Again, pan pastel does not work good with velour. Velour and pan pastel just don't mix. I mean, you can put it on, but it's choppy and it just doesn't look all that good. So instead, I would recommend pan pastel for pastel mat paper. And pan pastel will run you about $4 to $5 or $4 to $6 for each pan. So I don't use these that often just because they're expensive. But you can get, Jason Morgan has a pan pastel set that's focused solely on pets. And Jason Morgan makes a living doing pets, so pets and animals. So I would highly recommend his set, and I will link that below. And the Jason Morgan set will get you started with pan pastel. Again, if you're using pan pastel, make sure you stick with the pastel mat. The velour is not going to be your good friend. So again, just starting out, I would go with a half stick of Rembrandt. If you can get half stick sets, I would go with that. Unfortunately, this is a big broad set with a lot of colors you'll never use, right? So instead, I would go with the Emma Colbert set. Once you find out that you're serious and that you enjoy pastels, this is going to be a better deal for you, and it's more money obviously, but once you're serious, once you know that you like it. And the reason I do the 50-cent half stick recommendation is because you don't know if you'll like this or not. If you're just starting pastels, how do you know if you're going to like it? How do you know if you're going to stick with it? How many of us have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on hobbies that we drop in a few months, right? Then you're like, oh, I shouldn't have spent that money. And now you're trying to get rid of it. So it's best to get some browns, half sticks, 50 cents each. You can get a 20 set for 10 bucks, right? Or you can get a 30 set for 15 bucks or whatever. Just get a set of half sticks for 50 cents each from jacksonsart.com. Has these much cheaper than buying it in America. So get these. You're starting out, you're good. Upgrade later once you figure out that you're going to stick with it. So that would be my recommendations. Of course, there are tons and tons and tons of other types of pastels. Would I recommend those? Yes. Any type of pastel, any brand is going to do you right. You're going to have fun. It all goes on the same. It's just a matter of preference, whether you like a certain brand over another. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to stick with Pan Pastels, Rembrandts, and the Emma Colbert set. And that's just about it. We're going to keep it simple. I don't want to use 50 different types of pastels and get you to where you're confused about what you want to buy. I would focus on just the main cheap pastel first and then later upgrade, and I think you guys will be happy.